To love is to serve. Welcome to the Relationship Theory, everyone. I am a healer who likes to think out loud. Here we take thoughts in, we break them down, we build them up, and we play them out. Today, we'll be talking about what love is. No, it's not, baby, don't hurt me no more. And it isn't never gonna give you up. To love is to serve. But I definitely want to take a beat and just point out this one solid fact about the world. We do not have a definition of love, a practical definition of it. We know what it might feel like. We know how we might want to receive what we think is love, but we don't have a practical definition, something by way of how we do what we do. We never think that love is something that must be done. We tend to lean to how it comes to us, but not how we give it out. And then the instant someone asks us how we give it out, we say, well, first it must be this before it gets outwards. And when you really think about it, the way that someone loves you, or someone that sets up boundaries like those, do you think they would ever actually realize that a person was loving them? They would never realize that those boundaries that they set in the way for them to give love wasn't the way the other person was carrying it out. And I'm sure that is one of the things that trip up people as far as love. People set up boundaries for themselves as to when they give it out. But then they project that idea onto other people as if people who love you must have had boundaries beforehand, otherwise they wouldn't have been doing what they did for me. That must mean I'm special. So they project their own idea of what someone might be doing, and they make out a reason for why they are loved, rather than just idealizing that the person must have come from some place of their own. And that's the reason why they are treating you a certain way. We need a new definition for what love is. And I don't blame people who have this fascination with the whole Disney realm, because I'm a sucker for Disney movies too. You know, I do love me a good romantic story. But I love romantic stories that actually involve me in them. I like when I'm the romancer. To sit and watch as if that could never happen to me and I'm just supposed to sit back and be amazed. Well, I'm not as young as I was before. I used to have to watch because I didn't know what it was, and I had someone guiding me and entreating me, and people were stronger than me, and they knew more things than me. They were able to put things together faster than I ever could. And that was the only reason why I had to sit and watch. If I was as young as I was and knew as much as they did, I wouldn't sit and watch. But that's the way it was for me. That's the way it was for a lot of people. To love is to serve, but I don't think people want to do that anymore. But it's not up to us. Here's a secret about life that people don't really know. And it's about the way that the world turns. The earth might be spinning on its axis and whatnot and revolving around the sun. But when you go into this planet and you look at any morning, afternoon, or evening where human beings are just doing anything, you realize that if they ceased to make any motion, nothing would actually be happening. Absolutely nothing. The planet would become immobile. Nothing would be happening. And that's on any given day. If every human being just for a moment would stop, or rather, every human being can stop, and every activity that we know would just cease to exist. You laying in your bed, if you choose to just lay in your bed and do nothing, nothing happens. Nothing has to happen on a day-to-day basis. Literally nothing has to happen. There is no going anywhere for any other reason. What you realize is you always have an obligation to someone else, and that's the reason why you move, whether that be for your job, for your friends, for your family, for yourself, for your lover, for your children. It does not matter. You are always moving out of obligation. And I believe that that is something people know. This is the reason why they imagine love to be something that they only receive and just they're drawn into it by someone else. Because what you come to realize about love is that you have to do a lot for it. You have to always be in motion for it. If you don't do anything for it, you never get it. Ever. I think a lot of people know that, and that's why when they think of love, they don't think of what they do. They don't think of what is practical about love. They think of how it comes to them, because beneath it all, once you erase all of the spectacularness and fantastical images that you have about love, you just get this basic form of action that means something in itself with no context. If you're hungry and you were fed, that's love. It's the service of being fed. This isn't hard though. Just because love equals service doesn't mean that it's hard. And if you ask me, anyone who tried to make the excuse that love was difficult because you must do, well, I'd be waiting on them to give a actually developed answer, because that wouldn't be enough for me. And if you've never thought about your own definition of love, well, keep that in mind. You're walking around a lot of people who think that love is something that comes to them and not something that they go to. So if you want to beat the punch on this thing, define for yourself what love is and how you're going to it. It's okay to picture out how you receive it. You ought to know how it comes in and how it goes out. But know what you're first willing to do when it goes out. That'll be the episode for today. Good morning for anyone who's just waking up, and good evening for anyone who's watching this video late in the